So you're sick and tired of that old gas fireplace. You know the one, probably built around the year 2000, advertised as ventless, but still leaves you with a headache from the smell. Or maybe it was just never ours that worked properly. But if you're fed up like me, you've come to the right place. In this video, we'll walk you through how to safely dispose your old gas fireplace, covering all the necessary steps for demolition, disconnection, and disposal. If you're new here, hi. My name is Kristen, and I'm the Broken Masterpiece. This video is the first in our new Fireplace Makeover series. To find all the tools, supplies, and links to the other videos in this series, just check the description box below. Now, before we get to the serious stuff, I start with the fun part, demolition. I begin by trying to uncover what was holding the fireplace unit in place. Honestly, demo is so much fun that even the kids wanted in on the action. My go-to tool for this whole project was my DeWalt chisel. It came in clutch for loosening up those weird trim boards around the marble hearth. I also used a hammer and a mallet to get things moving. There was a ton of caulking and nails, but with enough leverage, everything started to loosen up. You know, a girl's gotta switch things up sometimes, so when I get bored with the wood trim that probably lasted about 30 minutes, I may or may not have undiagnosed ADHD, I grabbed my drill to find any screws I could start taking the insert apart. Then I moved on to the marble. I wasn't sure how the marble was secured, so I just started pulling, and guess what? It gave way. Just be ready that it takes a lot of drywall with it, as it's typically secured in with some serious glue. All right, let's talk about the most critical step in this that I really could not find a lot of information on: safely disconnecting the gas line. When it comes to DIY, knowing when to call a professional is key. And folks, this is it. Disconnecting a gas line is absolutely not something an amateur or even an avid DIYer should do. Leave this to the pros to ensure your home doesn't become a safety hazard down the line. I honestly wasn't sure who to call. There's not a lot of information out there about this. But after striking out with the gas company and our local fireplace repair shops, I was finally directed to our local HVAC company. They handle this kind of work, and I found Central Heating and Air here in Charlotte. They sent someone out right away, and he charged me only $135, and the job took him a little bit over an hour and a half. Let's hear from him and get a pro's perspective on what he did and what a competent professional should do.
So this is cut at the stem, and the stem itself is permanently disabled, capped off. Has been tested.
Up in
it's
the
not
attic.
Leaking. That's up in the attic. If you wanted to preserve it, you could just leave this as is and just shove it back there, so that if in the future anyone wanted to fix it, they could solder it back together in the attic, and that way they could, use it again.
But there's no gas.
No
that
gas
can come out of
here.
that into our wall.
If you open this, there's no gas. It's just an empty line going up to the attic. In the attic, and I'll send you a picture with the invoice. Awesome. There's a tag that says disabled line. It is hanging on that disabled line.
Perfect.
And the stem that it was getting gas from, that was feeding it, it's capped off and has been pressure tested, and it's permanently capped off. So there's no valve on there where you can open it or anything like that.
Once the gas line was safely disconnected, I felt a lot more comfortable pulling everything else apart. At this point, the kids had gotten home from school and they loved the demo. They wanted to be a part of it, and so with careful supervising, they were able to get a lot of the trim work off the wall and help assist with the marble. Here's another little tidbit you didn't ask for, but I'm gonna tell you. I'm able to pay my kids who work for me under my business through a UTMA account. If your state has this option, it's a great tax-free option to be able to pay them to work for you.
This or this? You go bang, bang, and it should start coming. Okay? Actually, wait, we gotta remove this now first. Just blocking it. And then remove a few nails before we start.
Up. And yeah, so hit only the wood. You got it. Ready, go.
Harder.
You gotta hit it so it falls off.
Harder. Harder.
Get it. Get it again. Good job. You pull it out of the wall. Pull it out. Put 2 hands on it. Good job. Now 2 hands and pull. 2 hands and pull. Yes! Good job. All right, other side.
That's your best picture tomorrow.
Get in a comfortable. Good. All right, lift it up and out. Pull. Up. Straight up. Yeah. Good work. There you go. It's gonna pull drywall with it, and that's okay. We'll patch that.
Yeah, make sure you should grab it with your gloves and pull it like that.
No.
You just can't get behind it yet. Woo! That's heavy, huh?
Whoa. Ripping off all that wall.
Woo! Oh, that's ugly. You gotta push it in there, yep. My next challenge was figuring out how to remove this massive fireplace unit itself. Since there's no manual, it was a bit of a puzzle. You just have to start working at it, especially whatever configuration you have, and figure it out as you go. Most of these have a little different setup, but again, some of them are the same, and you would identify the screws, you start unscrewing, you figure out where it's connected to the wall. Once we got past the drywall, we could see where the unit was screwed into the frame, so we used a drill to take those screws out. The inside was tricky, especially with the cables. Oh my gosh, that split my eardrum.
How do I get to that?
Oh, right in there. Yeah, we just have to unscrew it.
How do I get to the screwdriver there?
I don't think we're just gonna throw it away anyways.
Well, I'm saying somebody in the future might want to.
Are we gonna get a fireplace?
Yeah.
Like, would it be like a fireplace that has actual fire?
No, I've got something special to show you guys. Yeah. There we go. I'm gonna shove that back in.
Yeah, I just need to cap it and cut it.
Capped it. Seal
Put
it.
some extra tape on there.
Yeah. Got it. Awesome. Yep, just lifts up. Nice. Those are so heavy. It was late at night and I wish I had filmed it, but I finally discovered that the bottom of the unit comes up with a single small finger hole. You can lift it and expose the interior, disconnect the electrical line after you've turned off the breaker, of course, and remove the cords. We're able to haul the unit outside. I posted it for free on Facebook Marketplace, and somebody came to get it the very next day. It was the best disposal method ever. After that, the rest of the demolition was pretty straightforward. I knew we'd have to replace the drywall where the old trim was, so I continued to just slowly remove it piece by piece. The top had a clear-cut line, so I used my razor blade to make a clean, straight cut for easier replacement. We also did some cleanup inside the space, and the kids even wrote their life verses on the framing. It was a really fun way to end this part of the project. Stay tuned for our next video. We're going to show you some easy framing for our new electric fireplace, insert, and the installation.